Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Games Awesome Life. You can show it. It's not a surprise. Here we go. Take
Objection,
that!
Take that! Take it, objection!
I think they do take that when you are specifically asked to present something. Like you're like, show us something.
You know, people have tried to explain this so many times.
I think it's when it's showing evidence to a statement that the witness made in the middle of the testimony, it's objection. But when they say, like when the judge says, how do you know? Do you have some supporting evidence for that? Then you can say, take that. I think that's how it works.
I like to not know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a little surprise advent calendar every time it happens.
Yeah, totally.
You say you didn't hear any noise, is that correct?
Yes, that's why I was looking very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me.
That's nice, but I find it just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix. Right. And he clearly testifies to the effect.
You are correct.
That when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise.
He said that?
If you were really that close to the two of them, then why didn't you hear this noise as well? Maybe the noise wasn't that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise, like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could have been failed to make go
May I have a moment to answer?
By all means.
I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on and I was listening to music at the time.
Probably K-pop.
Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered?
The rain was just beginning to let up. But it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble.
Thunder and lightning, huh?
Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder.
Oh.
So I put my headphones on to block it out.
Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all.
Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case.
There was lightning. Because that's what could have...
Do you think that could have happened?
Maybe.
Huh. Like that it struck the electrical cable?
Yeah.
And then the electrical cable...
fell and electrocuted him to death.
Yeah, let's say that then. Okay. Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now is not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyways, since the cause of death was electrocution... Isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning?
Or that.
Oh! I must admit, the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy, anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But the very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. From LARPers! Lightning bolt! It appears that the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually an accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty verdict. What the fuck?
I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye.
Huh?
I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location.
Okay, so she's fucking lying again. Wow.
What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case.
Evidence, Mr. Payne? What is this evidence? That you are required by law to present to the court and the defense?
This affidavit, which just came out of my ass.
And who is this affidavit from?
The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden around 3 p.m. that day.
Was it a blackout?
All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor.
So you're saying that the equipment lost power because?
Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage came at approximately 3 p.m.
Which fits the time of death listed in the autopsy report.
Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of the touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future.
I see.
Apparently, the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break.
Sounds really responsible of
Yeah.
the school administration. Students' testimony added to the
And people had to walk through that
Yeah.
space to get to other classes.
However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it had been bumped into, correct? If it hadn't been bumped into, correct? That's why I was really confused by that statement. Okay.
Well, I suppose you could say that.
Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding that? Wait a second. Go back a second. The judge's statement doesn't make any sense. That's like... What's up? You gonna sneeze?
No, not if you say it.
The judge is saying that they're so brittle that they would snap if they were bumped into. That is proof that they would not snap if not bumped into. That isn't true.
That's true.
That isn't true. That's like saying, like, you know, I don't know, this statue, it's a bad analogy.
Also, it was raining. The raindrops could have hit it.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm just saying that like a tree that could fall over at any moment could fall over on its own.
Yeah.
Too. Doesn't need to be bumped into.
Very, very true.
All right. Your Honor. I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to regain my momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break?
The umbrella!
Alright, so it's a take that. Take that! This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Somebody's pointing at it like that.
Well, Your Honor.
Oh, fuck! What? I believe the only thing that has snapped is the mind of the defense. Shit. Let's rethink that.
Okay.
That was one of the best lines yet, Your Honor.
Ouch, that was harsh. Please, Your Honor, give me one more chance. Well, let's hear it. All right. Since we know there's no repercussions. All right.
Aw, there's nothing special.
No.
Damn it.
Just had to do it. Okay, so let's look here then.
The watch stops. The drugs. The old power cable broke to some sort of impact.
Wait.
I thought they said it happened at 3 p.m.
Who or what was it that caused that? Are you fucking serious? I have to just show Doug swallow?
Maybe. Try it. Take that.
Take that. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. What?
Nope.
What the fuck's going on? I don't even...
Look at the photos again. Whoa. Okay.
The umbrella.
It's not.
Yeah.
Phoenix?
I am really confused. I'm gonna show this photo. There's no repercussions. What the fuck? Take that! This is it.
Damn it.
It was the photo. Fuck. Alright, I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna present Phoenix. What's going on? What? Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony.
The defendant's testimony?
He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened around 3 p.m., right?
Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that?
The lab equipment lost power at 2:55, which fits right with Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power out. What? A shove does not cause a power outage. I don't get this. What are we basing this on? What is happening here? Oh, it was his mighty shove.
Yeah.
His mighty shove caused a shockwave. Like,
yeah.
Bah, 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 bah.
Yep, that's what happened.
What the fuck is going on?
I remember this being confusing.
Yes, the prosecution also came to the same conclusion. What? And it was the very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted.
I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a Really?
So like everything we said the umbrella. We said
the picture. Everything was involved. And he didn't say. The judge's question wasn't show me exactly what. His question was show me evidence.
Or what?
Oh, did he say who or what caused the electrical cable to break?
Yeah.
The photo has a picture of the umbrella in it and the victim. Oh God. All right. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. You know, the thing is, from our perspective, it looks as though anybody, like that cable is low enough that holding an umbrella could touch it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Getting shoved into the pole? Oy. God damn you. Why Ace Attorney series are you so enraging and yet so enjoyable at the same time? Fuck. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. At least it wasn't magic this time.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then it wouldn't have been electrocuted by severed cable in the foreground here. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Why couldn't he have just walked into it himself? Why does it have to be someone?
I don't know.
Order in the court!
Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them.
It's true. The defense is absolutely correct.
There doesn't seem to be any way for the defendant to have a...
Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madame's attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them.
What?
What the? I mean, what the?
Please, just once more. May I please testify one more time? Please, Mr. Judge.
Of course, it's all right. Just go ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. I also love that the umbrella being in another place at the crime scene is proof, without a doubt, that is exactly where he was pushed. Mm-hmm. You know, like, the umbrella couldn't have been moved by anybody or anything like that. Well, all right. We've all heard my rants on Phoenix logic, and they'll come again. All right. What I Witnessed Part 2. Oh, wait. We'll take a break here, and when we come back, Delilah Hawthorne's second testimony on Trials and Tribulations is awesome on Video Games Awesome Live.